The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. Sanka, you dead?
Yeah.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hey everybody, and wagwan my ute.
Wow.
Welcome to the 4 a.m. podcast.
Wow.
Oh, God.
The movie podcast for dorks by dorks. I'm your host Rob,
Oh,
joined
they already know that.
by my chums.
Brian.
Tony.
And some bombaclad.
The funny thing is, I was gonna try for like a Jamaican accent, but I feared it might accidentally be better than the ones in the movie. So I figured I'd let it go. This week we watched Cool Runnings
I
from 1990. What?
Three.
Okay.
It's so 90s.
It's so
Oh, yeah.
90s. So, history with this film. Who's got it? Let's start with Joe.
I think I saw it once,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, that was enough.
Okay.
And I moved on.
All right. Okay, Brian.
I've seen this movie like 1,000 times. It's like my shit. Anytime it was on TV, I watched it. It was dope.
Okay, Tony.
Yeah, this is definitely one we picked up from the rental store at one point, and I might have seen it since then, like once or twice on Disney Channel or something like that, when it might have popped up. But yeah, never really went searching for it.
Okay. I've never seen this before. This was one of those I was like, it's a movie about sports, and it's in the 90s, and it's a Disney movie. I'm all set, thanks. And I just passed it right on by. Because those were all things I did not want to have any part of in the 90s. But I remember, like, they advertised this movie all over. Like,
Oh, it was big.
I feel like I have a bunch of comic books with, like, Cool Runnings call-outs in it. But, yeah. So, that's our very brief personal history. Tony, how about some movie history?
Okay. So, yeah. As mentioned, this is Cool Runnings from 1993, rated PG, also known as Cold Buttocks in Norway.
Hmm?
Yeah, you heard that.
Cold Buttocks?
Cold Buttocks.
I mean, still an appropriate title.
I mean, yeah, but okay.
I didn't name
Like,
it.
No one said they had a cold butt. Well, like maybe
I mean-
Sanka did once.
Sanka was complaining about being cold the whole time.
Yeah.
But
I think,
But like there were no butt references.
Listen, if you've seen some of the translations for movie titles, this is one of the better ones you can get, alright? May I remind you, in, what is it, Uganda or something? Twins is part of the zombie franchise. So, who knows? Anyway, this is directed by John Turteltaub, who did National Treasure, Phenomenon, While You Were Sleeping, and of course, friend of the show, Three Ninjas.
that's not a friend of the show.
Yeah, friend
What's
to no
funny
one.
is a group that I'm in on Facebook. Someone posted how much they love that movie, so I had to put our episode into the comments. We'll see if
Nice.
anyone watches it and listens to it.
Alright, so the movie is, and no one can see me, but the biggest air quotes, based on a true story from the 1988 Olympic Games.
oh, for real?
In the
Yeah.
fact that there were Jamaicans and a bobsled.
Oh yeah, we'll get
that's
there.
that's as close as it gets.
Originally, this movie was going to have a different director, and it was going to be much more of a drama-based kind of movie. Until, I guess, I don't know if that was while Disney had it or until Disney had it, but they came along and they had some lofty goals for this. They wanted to get the lead role be played by Denzel Washington and Sanka played by Eddie Murphy, who both saw what they were offering for money and laughed at them. So that didn't happen.
All right.
They also wanted to fill out the rest of that cast with Wesley Snipes and Marlon Wayans.
In '93,
Yeah.
That would have
Yeah,
been like
that-
There would have been too much for that one bobsled to handle.
That would have
Yeah.
been like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it-
That would have been like
I doubt
Jamaican
this
Ghostbusters.
budget could anywhere support like that cast in
Yeah.
the 90s. Like,
Oh. clearly not.
yeah.
But then they started looking at others, getting or talking with Cuba Gooding Jr., Jeffrey Wright, Eric LaSalle,
Jeffrey
and-
Rush.
Jeffrey Wright. And apparently Tupac Shakur actually auditioned for this.
Tupac he was trying to act hard. Like he was auditioning for
I
a
know
lot
he
of
was
stuff.
in a few movies.
Yeah.
Was he
But-
still in Digital Underground at this point, or was he out on his own?
He had, I think he had started a solo career.
Okay.
Like being Tupac in music, but he was still trying to act like man. I want to say was when he got shot. I think he was like reading for the new Star Wars movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
I know he
Didn't know
did that movie with Janet Jackson, right?
Yeah. Like he was reading for a movie when he got shot. Like he was like trying to audition.
Like
for a
he had
movie.
the script in his hand.
Yeah. Well, not in the movie, but like he was going out for a part.
yeah. But I guess Leon got signed on early. Apparently, while it was still in its drama phases, and was part of this project for like 3.5 years before it actually started getting going. I guess there was a lot of shock from some of the cast by the fact that they were using an actual and possibly the actual bobsled from the Jamaican bobsled team. Yet Sanka's egg was fake. It was made of rubber. And
I would hope so.
And apparently he still has it.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Why would you say you would hope so?
Why would I
'Cause,
hope
like-
that they use a fake egg on
Yeah.
a movie set?
Bouncing around in a fucking
Yeah.
bobsled and shit like that.
They
falling
don't
around.
actually have to have it in there. Like the
Yeah,
two
this is-
scenes the egg's in, it could have been a real egg.
That's what? Okay, I'm not gonna argue it. I'm just gonna let
Whatever,
that
man.
go.
Whatever.
I don't trust Dougie Doug to hold any kind of prop and keep it safe.
I'll give you that. Spoiler alert: the crash at the end is actually from the real footage of the actual bobsled crash from the Jamaican bobsled team. But yeah, like this is where it gets weird because like that crash happened because they just lost control of it because they weren't as familiar with the bobsled, or just because it was fucking fast and it's hard to control. Either way, and that's where we get into the differences in this movie and the reality, which is pretty much everything.
Everything.
Yeah. The coach is fake. That character is all fake. Even if he had existed, apparently putting weights in your sled is a totally legal move, so he wouldn't have gotten thrown out for cheating.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Because that shit's illegal. Were they thinking Pinewood Derby rules?
I guess. I don't know.
Well, I think whatever weight you'd put in the sled, you still have to push in the beginning. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's
True, but like, it doesn't-
And you like there's brakes involved. Like, so you're not just gunning down the
Yeah,
hill at top speed.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because you can have people that weigh
Yeah.
all different size, so I guess it doesn't matter how much weight is in there. Just
like that was one thing I was thinking during the movie is I was like, why don't I just put John Candy in there? Like, I mean, before
Joe.
before I realized that he cheated and was banned. But I'm like, then I realized I'm like, yeah, okay, you don't want to be accelerating the entire time.
Also,
So-
were any of the others gonna be in there too?
They were going to be hanging off the sides of it, I think.
I'm not trying to be
Okay.
insensitive here,
Yeah.
but when he was in that Volkswagen, he
Yeah.
was that entire Volkswagen.
Well, I mean, and
That's
this was
true.
yeah. While John Candy does bring the mustard in this one, this was towards the end of his life, and he was quite huge.
he is voluptuous in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, also the Jamaican bobsled team was welcomed with open arms. They had a number of sponsors. They didn't have to do any weird kissing booths to make money or anything. Like none of that. None of that.
They trained in Austria first. You
Yeah.
know, they were military guys, not just some sprinters.
You guys are making this sound way less fun.
Yeah, damn, Joe, did you
I want an
Well,
underdog
do a
story.
report on this or something?
After I watched the movie, I went and I was like, well, what are the differences with the real one?
Okay.
So I could see why Disney jazzed up the tale.
So, do we want to guess at how much money this movie cost to make?
They didn't jazz it up; they jerked it up. It's Jamaica.
I will say
All right.
$24 million.
Yeah, it was not enough for an Eddie Murphy, Marlon Wayans, Denzel Washington,
And Wesley Snipes.
and Wesley Snipes. Oof.
He was probably on board until he heard the other guys were out.
Yeah. You know what though? That East German team would not fuck with them. Like they would know they would know better immediately.
Yeah.
God, they would whoop that team's ass so hard. So 90, I could guess 30 million.
Okay, so you both have taken both of my guesses. So I'm going to undercut it at 22 million.
Good idea. It's 14 million.
Oh, wow.
Wow, okay.
That's like nothing.
Yeah. They didn't put much into this. Want to guess how much it made?
Oh, good amount.
I'm going to say $32 million.
I'm going to roll high and say 68.
I will go with, what's Brian say, 32 million?
Yeah.
Feel it's between the two, so 32 million and $1.
Wow.
It was $155 million.
Yeah, it
Nice.
did well.
Which
That's
Okay.
real good.
Go ahead.
just I had a moment where like a little tear came to my eye because I tend to just type this over my old notes to kind of keep things in order and make it easy, and that's $100 million more in budget than The Thing, yet made way more than The Thing did.
100 million more in budget?
Wait, what?
The Thing had $15 million to make. This had
100%
14
more.
Oh, so-
Yeah, different time though. Like this was 11 years later, and cinematic revenue was totally different by that point.
And the target audience was way different, too.
Yeah,
Right, like the thing
Yeah, I
is,
know.
I mean,
No, I know. It just I can't help but weep a little.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If
Okay.
the thing came out not in the summer it came out, it may have made more money.
yeah, like if the thing came out like last year, it probably would have made a ton of money because horror movies are like super popular now.
yeah.
They-
Maybe.
They
Although if
make
it came out
money no matter
last
how
year,
big.
it would have sucked a dick probably.
Well,
Yeah,
yes, absolutely it would.
Yeah, because if it came out last year, it wouldn't be Kurt Russell, and it wouldn't,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
It'd be Kevin Hart in it and The Rock.
oh fucking hell! I just saw that ad for Die Hard.
Yeah.
That
Wait,
also.
what?
So
Yeah.
Kevin Hart has what's the who's carrying it? Is it
Kevin Hart. What do you mean?
no like what
Quibi.
Quibi. Yeah, so Kevin Hart has an action comedy show on Quibi with John Travolta where he's playing himself and he's upset because he always gets second billing as the funny guy next to The Rock specifically. Like they name drop The Rock. And so he goes to this John Travolta is playing this old like stunt actor to try and train him to be an action star.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for him for getting work, I guess. All right. So anyway, that's now that we've talked about The Thing and Die Hard, let's get on to the real topic: Cool Runnings.
Cool
Well,
running.
all right. But could you imagine if the four people? It's The Thing, but it's a 4-man bobsled team. So, some are real, some are imitations.
Are they all tied inside the bobsled?
Yeah,
like on
and
the
you-
couch?
Yeah, and one of them's got a flamethrower, and they have to figure out by the end of the run.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's by the end of the run, you either have to figure out who it is and kill them, or they all become one.
Yeah,
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
That's an easy right. So you have like to escape the end of the movie, like the thing had dug corridors and they're sliding down on the bobsled trying to get
no.
to escape.
Yeah.
That's where the rescue team is. And, like they're gonna figure out which one is the thing before the rescue team gets there and it starts all over again.
all right.
At one point, they're just pushing a Volkswagen with Wilford Brimley in it.
This could be a ride at Universal.
Yeah,
This could
Cool
be
Runnings
Splash
could-
Mountain.
Yeah, it'd have to be a Disney ride, but that could totally just be a ride.
well, yeah, they're gonna change Splash Mountain, right? So
I mean, they could have totally turned
Like
Splash
Cool
Mountain
Runnings.
into a Cool Runnings ride. That would have totally worked.
yeah, let's do it.
All right. I forgot to get the cast list ready, but
Oh.
basically you got John Candy as Irv, you got this guy Leon as Derice, and you got Dougie Doug as Senka Coffee. and I forgot
Yeah.
who played Junior and Yul Brenner, but that's basically all you need to know.
Yul
Malik
Brenner's
Gilba is Yul Brenner,
Who?
and then
Yeah,
the other
he's
guy.
in one of those. He's in one of those like NCIS shows, right?
Yeah, but like I
I
know him
think
from New York Undercover and various other.
Oh,
movies,
is that
whatever.
what it is? I know it was like one of those cop dramas. I can't tell you which
Mm.
which primetime police dramas which.
And
Yeah,
is it
both of-
Raleigh Lewis as Junior?
Yeah,
All right.
that's right. Yeah, they're both decent actors. They're both in a lot of stuff, but none of it is just like anything Rob would watch. So
Yeah,
True.
But so who is Leon? What's he in? Is he like in stuff? Is he?
he's been in like 2 movies that we've watched already. I think.
Is he?
Yep.
What's he been
so
in?
Cliffhanger. He was the black dude in Cliffhanger.
Uh,
I don't remember
the one in
anything
that,
about Cliffhanger other
that
than
sad
running into.
fight with Stallone where he's doing martial arts.
Wait, that's him.
Yeah.
Oh,
That fight scene was so sad to watch.
And then he's been in other things like black folks know, but you probably haven't watched any of his stuff. So
that's true. I'm not.
Star of Things Only Black Folks Know. Leon.
like for real, like there's
For
a whole
400.
thread about that.
Good barbecuing.
Yeah, he's
Potato
also in a bunch of cop drama kind of thing. Like what's that one with Tom Selleck?
Blue Bloods.
Yeah, he's in that,
Oh, I was gonna say Magnum PI.
Yeah. I
See,
was
here's the
gonna say
thing.
that.
or he
This
was
is
in
not,
that at least.
I mean, yes, it's
Yeah.
probably shows and movies that black folks would know, but also it's a bad metric because I don't watch anything. I'm fully unaware of the world around me.
All right. We want to start this thing off.
I do want to ask one question.
Uh-huh.
Dougie Doug, he's been on our podcast before, right?
Yep.
Was he in Eight-Legged Freaks?
Eight-Legged Freaks.
Okay. All right. All right. That's all. Welcome back.
All right.
Also, I would be the driver if that's what you were gonna ask.
Really?
Yeah,
You think so?
I do.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Can I be like, can I just give the sled a push and then like not go down the hill?
If you're
Sure, why not?
not a team player, sure.
No, actually, the closest thing I've ever done to bobsledding is like an alpine slide, and I went flat out and put the accelerator that you get, to full, and I flipped it off the track. So I had to climb back on the track real quick before the next person came and hit me. It was fun though. Yep. Okay. So we start this movie off where you got this
Jamaica,
guy.
1942.
Yeah, you got this guy, Darius. He loves sprinting. He loves running. He's going to run in the Olympics. His dad ran in the Olympics, got the gold medal. Leon's hungry. He's hungry for that medal. He's willing to do crazy things for that medal.
Like have a terrible Jamaican accent.
And I cannot in any way say that I'm good at grading what would be a good or a bad accent, so I'm going to make no comments on the accents in this movie. But yeah, this man is willing to do strange and terrible things to get that medal, like hang out with Dougie Doug, who's named Sanka Coffee. He is the best pushcart driver in all of Jamaica with his Rasta Rocket pushcart.
Can we talk about this pushcart derby? Please?
Yeah,
Can
first off,
we talk about his
please.
name being Sanka Coffee?
Yeah. Well,
well, okay, so I could see him being named Sanka somehow, and then Coffee, he just took it to that level.
yeah, what? Because this is based on a true story. Obviously, they changed that. So you're
Yeah.
going to change the names. I get that. But you get Sanka Coffee and Yul Brenner? Seriously?
Yeah,
Like they're both jokes for the movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
jokes
okay with
in
it.
big quotation marks.
So
Like, they're both jokes. Like it's
Yeah.
So this derby, it's like I don't really understand what's so there's adult drivers, but there's like kid
Yeah,
pit crews.
I don't get what. No, there's a child on the cart, and I don't understand what his role is because he doesn't help push.
balance.
I guess.
I know.
Wouldn't it make more sense to have the heavier person in the front?
Yeah, like I could see if there were flat parts and it was like someone in your team always needs to be on the cart. So like it made sense to have a kid in there where he can be on the cart while the adult pushes it. But Yeah, I don't know. I guess like they just rather than get more weight for the front to balance out the adult on the back, you just shove a kid in there.
Well, maybe
And
it's
like, why couldn't the kid drive? Like, I'm so
Yeah.
confused as of this cart design.
it's like Roman chariots. Maybe the kids are supposed to like fight the other
So-
carts.
No, that'd be something.
Yeah. You could somebody
Well,
check that kid if he's
now,
got a
all right.
bracelet made out of barbed wire.
If it was 4 children pulling a chariot with Dougie Doug like whipping people from the back, and he's got like Boadiceas on the side to like ram into people.
Wait. So in this version, Dougie Doug is some Fagin type character?
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right.
Makes sense.
Interestingly
honestly.
enough, though, like this part of the movie is legit in that like push carts. I don't know if they still are a real thing, but they were a real thing at the time. And the two guys that started the Jamaican bobsled team got the idea from watching a push cart race.
Yeah.
So that part's legit. And yeah, I mean it's a pretty cool race. Dougie Doug's dominating until he goes too fast. And in his hubris, goes off the track and crashes into a shed, complete with the flying chickens reference.
Like,
That
there's no
kid is
rules
dead.
to this. Like, from the minute it sets off, you can like hit your opponents on purpose and knock them off the track on purpose. Like, this is like a
Brutal
fucked
out
up.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This is what's so great about it. It is a cart built by a child or children. You just it's pushed by an adult with a kid on it just to put them in harm's way, I guess, and then you just slam it into other kids as you're running full speed down a hill.
So this is the kind of shit that in America that we do in like the 70s and 80s. And then by around the 90s, we were like, no, we got to protect the children's. We can't do this.
And that's
But,
when
like-
Jamaica picked it up.
Yeah, in Jamaica, they were like, no, we're still good.
No, this is
Yeah.
called population control.
Yeah.
Like, just-
Another 20 years, Japan will be doing it.
No, Japan.
Japan
they're-
has most extreme challenge,
Yeah.
so they've been doing the
Oh,
work.
yeah.
shit like what's I don't know the name of the sport, but the one where you have like a guy on a fucking telephone pole, and then there's like an army of people trying to push him off,
yeah,
and like another army of people trying to prop him up.
yeah, they have
uh,
perfected this already. Are you kidding
yeah.
me? They,
So anyway-
they forego the cart and they just fire you out of a cannon into a wall.
So Darius is ready for the Olympics. He sounds all confident to his wife. You get a little sweet scene there where he's saying he's gonna do it, and he's not nervous, and then he's nervous. And he runs off to the Olympic qualifying race, and the top 4 finishers are gonna get to run for Jamaica, and you just get one race, and that's it. I mean, I guess tell you medal, but like. One would think they would just do individual trials with athletes and let the times speak for themselves.
Yeah,
Like if-
I mean,
If Darius
usually
is that
in the
good.
races, you have qualifying meets like that. That's real. Like,
Yeah.
you'll have like other chances throughout the year to hit the number to be in this one race to qualify for the
Yeah.
Olympics. So they've won their races to get to this point, and then this is the last chance. So these are all the
Yeah.
fastest ones from all other races.
I suppose actually, like, because I think this race would serve as their Olympic qualifying time, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because then, yeah, when they get to the Olympics, they've already, technically qualified.
but you'd think there would be something to the like. Oh well, this guy had like the best time for the past couple of races. This time, a guy fell and tripped him. Maybe
Nope.
we should do something about that.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
Like playing a fucking football. Like the last game is what matters. You could have beat everybody by 1,000,000 points. You
Yeah.
lose the last game, you fucking lost. It don't matter. Like,
The
Yeah.
2007 Patriots played a perfect season
yeah.
and were unbeaten till like 1 minute left in the last game of the year.
True, but when they lost, it's not because a bull got into the field and like knocked their quarterback out. You know what I mean?
So what
Well, I mean-
exactly did happen? Because I saw like, did he just trip?
Yeah, Junior tripped and he
Okay.
took
Yeah.
the other 2 out.
So
Yeah.
They
There-
tripped over him.
I've been watching a lot of Aussie Man, so I've been brushing up on my Australian slang, and this is called the Steve Bradbury because he was a Australian speed skater that won his entire like Olympic gold medal in a series of different races where people got disqualified or fell. And the last race was funny because it's like 4 guys going real fast, and this one guy that they're in danger of lapping, and the one guy, Steve Bradbury, he's like way the hell back there. and then all four of the guys in front of him fall over each other and slam into the wall. And he just skates past them and wins the gold medal. And he never, like, he won all of his races, but none of them by, like, crossing the finish line before anybody else.
Wow.
So he's like an Australian national hero.
Default. Default.
So, yeah. All right, so Darius goes to complain to the Olympic commissioner,
Like,
making
fuck you.
a lot of the arguments that Tony just made. Yeah, the guy's like, fuck you. And then he sees that his father's up on the wall, you know, with the gold medal, and he's with just some random white guy. And he's
Matt
like, "Who's
Damon."
that?" Yeah, with Matt Damon, yeah.
That's kind of like Matt Damon for real.
And like,
Yeah, it's from Invictus.
so the commissioner's like, oh yeah, that guy, he wanted to get your dad to bobsled for some reason. And he's like right down the street. Darius takes the picture. He's like, I'm out. And he goes over, kicks the wheels off Senka's push cart. He's like, that's a bobsled. And if I were Senka, I would have been like, you could have just told me, dude. Like,
Right.
Show me a picture.
Right. Now
I
I
don't
gotta.
think he's just snapping those back on.
Now little Timmy needs to
Yep.
skip his lunch to rebuild that boxcar. Sorry.
Oh,
Timmy didn't survive the last race, so it's all good.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I suppose it's worth pointing out when Sanka crashed, like Darius asked him, where he's like, Sanka, are you dead, man? And then like Sanka's like, yeah. And then they keep talking because it's a running joke through the whole movie. So they go. Oh yeah, they get in Sanka's sweet ass Jamaican Volkswagen and drive on down to the pub where John Candy's hanging out.
Like I know y'all probably in the early '90s weren't about the fashion of this, but like I missed the cross colors from like the red, the green, the yellow, and the gold. Like kind of like that was a legit thing, and I had like one outfit that was like cross colored the way these were. That was all this, and I was like soup that I had this one outfit like that, but like I missed that.
I mean, it was the 90s. We were all dressed like that.
Yeah, I'll refrain from talking any shit about it because like we were just wearing like one solid awful neon color or something like that. Like just like it was bad. Like, you know, at least these had like patterns and stuff that looked cool.
It just looked like that Doug cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how many of them like had no seeming rhyme or reason to them.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'll be right back.
It was just like like a neon orange shirt with like a bright green hoodie over it with like purple pants and yellow shoes. Like just no connective tissue there.
It had to be neon. That was it.
Yeah.
So if it was neon, it matched. So yeah, they find John Candy here in the bar listening to a horse race, which his bet loses. So he goes over to the wall and picks up a nice pool cue, you know, inspects its quality, and then just smashes the shit out of the radio.
I like how like the announcer on the radio was like, anyone who picked this guy is a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Also, question: does he own this bar?
It seems that way.
I hope so, because he's just fucking it up.
Because they said he's a town bookie.
Yeah.
He might.
I think he's just hit enough people with a pool cue that they don't try to move him from the bar.
Fair enough.
Are we talking about John Candy's explosive reaction?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they just noticed it was a 400-pound man with a pool cue and said, no.
That's what I'm saying, because it's Jamaica, so the cops don't have guns. So, like, they're like, I'm not going to be the first person to go in there. So we'll just leave him there.
So it's kind of like if he was a bear that just kind of got in there.
Yeah.
The bartender's like, we don't know how to handle this, so just fucking feed him every once in a while and let him do his thing.
He hasn't smashed any people yet.
But yeah, he's breaking radios, he's pulling posters off the wall and ripping them up.
So now Darius goes over and asks him to coach the bobsled team. He goes and picks out the pool cue again and chases them out. And then you get one of this movie's many, many montages. And if there's one thing that this movie does well, it's montages. And if it doesn't, it sure as hell tries. Because this one is Derice and Sanka just surprising Irv over and over again with asking them to coach the team. Before finally Derice just does what he should have done in the first place and shows him the picture. And then finally Irv's like, okay, this is the plot device that's supposed to get me aboard. I'm aboard. Let's.
But I like that he's looking at the picture and he's like, wow, I look like a totally different person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no shit.
It fucking is.
Like, yeah, you're not even remotely the same.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if it was a picture of him, of like his face pasted onto a different body. That would have been funny.
Or if they had him like he's looking at the picture, like I look like a totally different person. He's like, no, your thumb's over you. That's the black guy. Like, oh, okay.
So now they have tryouts, and there's a room full of guys there, and they start playing this film about bobsledding, and it's just like the blooper reel, and like just people crashing over and over again.
But, like that was on purpose, though. Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
he was
he
hoping
chose
that no one would want to do it after seeing all the crashes.
Yeah, and Irv's like, in a bobsled, your bones don't break; they shatter.
And let me correct you. It did not seem to be a blooper reel, because as far as I could tell, it seemed the name that was given at the end of this is just Bobsledder Kills and Crash, or Killed and
Yeah.
Crash.
I guess
That's the
it's
name.
more like a Faces of Death than a
Yeah.
blooper reel.
I mean, it's
Or
old
Crash
enough.
Kills
It's more,
Bobsledder. I'm sorry.
it's more like a Mystery Science Theater short.
So now, like the tough guy from the race that one of the guys that missed the Olympic qualifier when Junior knocked them down shows up. Yeah, and he's talking tough, and his name's Yul Brenner.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that both.
Or at
like,
least that's the name he gives. It
Yeah,
may not
that-
actually be his name. But...
Derice and and Irv both look at each other like, what? Irv's like, I don't know. So then should we call it? Then Junior shows up, and Yul Brenner's like, I am going to kill you. And then like Dougie Doug has to get in there and do his thing. Yeah, and then like they ultimately work it out, and they're the Jamaican bobsled team. Ta-da! So what's
By the
that?
way, this guy, he is just Carlton Jr.
He doesn't have Carlton's confidence.
No,
He has his
Carlton was all
his-
confident.
he has his closet though.
He
he definitely
does
has
have his closet. Yeah.
He's got Carlton's closet, which is a
Right.
franchise I'm going to open up pretty soon. It's 90s throwback wear, mostly
Yeah.
sweaters, sweater vests, and khakis.
So they get a bobsled, well, some cut up oil drums and some wagon wheels and a few boards. Call it a bobsled.
Yep.
And so Sanka agreed to do this on the condition that he would be the driver. So he's whining that he can't be the driver. He's got to be the brakeman. And then Irv is like, do you want to be the first one at practice and the last one to leave and stay up all night studying all the turns and have everyone's lives in your hands? And he's like, I do not. I will be the brakeman.
Yeah, never mind. I'll be the brakeman too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
you
gonna
responsible
say,
for stuff?
if you remember the rule set, Tony, I don't think you're gonna be the driver.
Oh, whatever.
But I do wish that like they had made Sanka be the one who was fixing the push cart in the beginning, like to show he
Yeah.
has like skills with his hands, whatever. Because like one thing that like it's a movie, so it's not real. But like the fact that they went from like they built this prototype bobsled, like who the fuck built that?
Yeah.
The fact that they fixed up the one they got for the actual race, like who the fuck fixed that shit? Like
Yeah.
like with what money? How is it? Like what? Like
Yeah.
With kissing.
What?
yeah.
Yeah, and one quick scene could show that this guy is like a MacGyver or something. Like maybe
Yeah.
to make some money, he fixed that radio and then he used it to sing like a jackass or something like that.
Something,
Yeah,
it's
also-
it's a small thing, but like for me, it would have helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it also would have been good because in this moment he is basically going from like, oh, I'm here, I'm the driver because I did the push carts and I'm good at driving and yada yada, and like they're no, you're the brakeman, so it's basically like, yeah, that one thing you do, you're not going to do that anymore. So why are you here?
Right.
Because
And
they
then-
need a fourth person.
Yeah, but at that point he is just
Yeah.
he becomes the extra body.
So now they get their bobsled and it cuts back to Junior, we meet Junior's father, who like Junior starts to talk and his father's just like, okay, this is what's gonna actually happen. I'm fucking like Tywin Lannister here. I've made all the decisions for your life. So Junior has like no confidence in his ability to confront his father, and that's his personal flaw that he has to overcome.
That's a shitty like dynamic too, because like when you're not allowed to do anything where you can possibly gain your own confidence, all you have to go on is who your dad is, and that sets you up for shit the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like that's a weird.
Yeah,
like,
and you could never speak against him because he could always just be like, I started in a one-room shack and now I have this mansion.
Yeah, but and also it's like since his father came up that way, his father is probably viewing it as like, because he's not giving him opportunities, he just sees he's like, oh, you don't have it hard, therefore you can't possibly understand or even live up to a standard, even if I allowed you to.
Yeah,
right.
and at the same time, though, I think his father, he thinks out of a place of love that he's like, well, I don't want my kids to have to deal with any of the shit I had to deal with, so I'm going to make it so that they don't, whether they want to or not.
He's protecting him, but at the same time, he's disappointed.
Oh yeah.
That he's accepting the protection, I guess.
Yeah. But this is also a little weird because it's about this point where I'm going, how old is he? Because look-wise, I can't tell. Like, he could be in his 30s, he could be in his 20s, but he's still living with his father and, apparently, like, very much under his thumb. Well, I know he's not given chances to do otherwise, but it did make me go, like, how old is he supposed to be in this movie?
But in fairness, though, like, his dad was sending him out of the house. Like, because in that conversation, he's like, I got you a job in Miami, you're going there.
For a brokerage firm. So he's got to be in just finished college or, around that age, whatever.
Yeah, probably early 20s.
Yeah. So we have important montage work to get to. We got to, push John Candy around in a Volkswagen. We got to have shitty...
So terrible.
Yeah, and John Candy, like, his head's out the top. Like,
dude, it looked like he was just wearing it. It looked like he was cosplaying. It looked like he was doing a terrible Bumblebee cosplay.
It looked like they lowered him down in there from a crane.
Like, what's the name from the G.I. Joe movie? Globulus, was it?
Yeah.
Riding that fucking round thing.
It's like Globulus's little floating thing.
And here's the thing: if you've listened to this podcast, you know that we are John Candy fans. Like we love this dude, but this was just this is a
and
bad
the four
look.
of us are not fitting in that bobsled either.
No, definitely not.
But yeah,
I'm too tall.
Yeah,
not to keep ragging on, but it is like my main thought at that point was like, that is a major leap in your progression here, because it's them pushing this bobsled, which is supposedly very heavy and hard to push, and it's like you think the progression would be push the bobsled, then maybe the bobsled with John Candy in it, then a Volkswagen, not just then a Volkswagen with John. Well, yeah, okay, but like the point is, you gradually add weight. You don't just say here's a Volkswagen with John Candy in it, push this fucker up a hill.
Well, he was pissed off.
Yeah.
I guess.
And like
Fuck.
The one thing like that this team has on its side over all the other teams is like just sheer power. And that's what John Candy was going for, and that like they could push, like his theory is they can push the bobsled faster in the beginning, and that's how they're going to have their edge. Is they'll have an amazing push start. So like might as well keep working on that, have them push around a Volkswagen and whatnot.
Like two of these guys are already Olympic level athletes.
Yeah, presumably Junior like is not that far behind. Yul Brynner and Darice. So this montage, they slowly get better and they slowly get better. They put Dougie Doug in an ice cream truck where he belongs, and he gets frozen to the point that one of his dreadlocks shatters.
I thought that was kind of funny when his dreadlock broke off.
And then then they go and they go down a hill for the last time, and they hit that like 6-second start time that they're looking for, and but the bobsled goes out of control. I'm pretty sure it loses a wheel, it's still like going like super fast down the hill, and it crashes into a cop car. And here's where you get like not the poster for the movie, but the part of the trailer that would, the one that's going to sell it for everyone. Because like the cops like, who are you? And they're like, we're the Jamaican bobsled team. And the cops start laughing. And I I remember that from the trailer.
Yep.
Star-Lord?
I also remembered where did these guys come from? Everybody yelling,
Yeah.
Jamaica!
And then, so now we cut to Irv, who was super happy that they nailed their start time. He goes to the Olympic commissioner. The Olympic commissioner is like, you're an embarrassment, and your team's an embarrassment, and we don't have a lot of money to send people to the Olympics, so we sure as hell aren't giving any of it to you.
I mean,
Get
fair.
out of my sight.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, then they're like, all right, we got to make the money on our own. So, let's do another montage. So we'll do the fundraising montage where you got Yul Brenner arm wrestling people. You got Dougie Doug singing. You got the kissing booth for Derice. He's getting all the ladies. And Junior, you don't really see what he's up to.
I do appreciate the kissing booth line because Derice is like he's like making out with this one girl, and the next woman up is like his fucking wife.
We need
Like,
to
he's like,
talk
"Oops."
over here.
It's like, that money's mine.
Which, also around this time, if I could just bring up a little note. While looking for information on this, on the International Movie Daily Bugle, I found a little thing that threw me off for a moment, stating that apparently at one point Leon is in drag in this movie.
Really?
Supposedly. I did not see where when I watched it, but I'm now wondering, like, was he
Like,
somewhere
It
in
made
this...
it into the final cut, or like there was a scene that wasn't in there.
It just says he is in drag at some point in this movie, so I don't know for sure.
Leon?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Well,
Dougie-
like I don't know if he's supposed to be the character Leon or if it's just him. Like he could just be an extra in like the arm wrestling scene. I don't know. It's so vague and so
Okay.
weird. But I thought I'd throw that in there.
I'll tell you what, if this were Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, Marlon Wayans, and Wesley Snipes, they'd get so much money at the kissing booth. They'd just buy a gold medal, and that'd be it.
I mean, Denzel probably just has one.
I'd fucking get in that line. I don't care.
Yeah, but his is getting repossessed, so.
Oh.
Denzel?
Oh no, I'm
Wesley
sorry,
Wesley
Wesley
Snipes.
Snipes.
Okay, I was gonna say, come on.
I'm
Alright.
sorry. Yeah, no, Denzel's got plenty of gold. Yeah.
So fucking like they make like $100-something at the kissing booth before that gets shut down. Someone gives Dougie Doug $1 to stop singing, and like Yul Brenner made like $60 arm wrestling or something. So they don't have enough money. But then freaking Junior comes in and he's like, I sold my car. Bam, here's the money.
And by junior, we do mean pregnant Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That movie, no good.
I forgot
Anyway,
about that movie. Wow.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
So, they're off to Canada now. Back then, 20 grand was enough to wage an Olympic campaign. So, you get the obligatory, guys from Jamaica in the winter, going out into the cold in Calgary. And Dougie Doug has to put on every single piece of clothing he packed and his suitcase.
I mean, yeah, it's cold.
Yeah.
It was a nice
And-
touch.
Yeah, they get in their car and they go off to the winter store, like the winter clothing store, and they come out of this. It's the 90s. I mean, they didn't know any better, but like they're just neon everything.
So colorful.
Yeah.
So
Yo,
colorful.
I had a ski jacket
Yep.
when I was around this age. It was like the Charlotte Hornets colors, but like on steroids. Neon.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I used to love that shit. Like,
So the funny thing though is, on the ski slopes, there are still people who dress like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It never really went away in winter sport.
Well, I think it helps you be spotted in the
Mhm.
snow. So
So they go to register at the Olympics, and we find out at this point that Irv has some kind of tragic past. We don't know what yet, but we know like a lot of people in the bobsled community don't really like him. So he negotiates with his buddy Roger to get a sled. And meanwhile, the rest of the bobsled team needs to learn to run on the ice. So they're like falling around an ice rink. When all of a sudden the fucking Soviet hockey team gets unleashed on them, and they got to run off
like-
the ice.
I understand this is a movie and you can't put everything in because like there's no way that at the Olympics would be the first time they ever had a chance to fucking be on ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, they were brought to Austria to train, on mountains and shit.
yeah, like
For a few months.
that's one thing. As a kid, it didn't even like occur to me that how bullshit
Yeah.
that part of the movie is.
Didn't
Oh, yeah.
occur to me.
Adult,
It
I'm
didn't
like-
occur to me today.
Like there's no way because like having done track, like shaving seconds or milliseconds off your time is fucking hard. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
To do that. It's easy at first, once you get some technique down, your numbers drop quite a bit. But like those extra like hundredths of a second, it's fucking hard. It takes a lot of work to get where you're doing that all the time. Fuck, there's no way that they were like, this is my first time on fucking ice. Like, no.
Yeah.
But I do kind of give it a pass because, as I said, like most of them are like trained athletes, so they would have that discipline. So you like, I'm not saying it translates that way in real life. I'm just saying in a context of a movie, I'm just like, okay, I'll give it a pass because like he's obviously at least 3 of the 4 guys have trained for presumably years to like get themselves to the point where they can, they have that discipline.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
fourth
but-
guy is still the best at what he does, which what he does is not really that competitive of a sport, but he still presumably can train for that.
No, but that is still bullshit because it does. They're like, oh yeah, these guys are awesome because they can run really fast, but that doesn't mean shit if you can't stand up.
No, but they can. They're. It's like if you have trained yourself, you get better at like trained yourself to do something physical. You're in a better starting point most of the time to do something else.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Like if you learn to ski, like you're in a much worse position to learn to snowboard and vice versa. But like for a lot of other things, like, if they've learned to run, they know how to move their body the right way and balance and stuff. They're just like, okay, tell me how I got to balance now and how I got to use my feet, and we're good. So yeah, they get their sled. It looks ready to go on Fury Road. Parts of it are falling off. It's all rusty and whatnot. And you see all the other like bobsled teams, and there's this Russian driver. It's got a sweet ass mullet. Like his mullet is competition ready.
There's a lot of mullets in this movie.
Yeah. So now they show up at the bobsled, like not even qualifiers or whatever, just some practice runs, and everyone sees the Jamaicans, and everyone's just giving them the stank eye.
Yeah.
Some East German guys heckling them.
This is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's uncomfortable.
Rude. It's just
Yeah.
rude is what it is.
So their first run, they're all just in the sled, and Irv just gives them a little nudge to start them off. And their first run friggin' sucks, and they crash. And we cut back to the hotel where Sanka's cooking some bananas in a hot plate, and Yul Brenner's really mad about it for some reason. And then, like, Yul's talking about how
Probably
he wants...
stinks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he says it stinks.
Yeah, Yul wants to get out of Jamaica. He hates the island. He's like, this is where I want to live. And he holds up a picture of Buckingham Palace. And like, Sanka's basically just like, yo man, you are like just the worst. Like you're like mentally deficient. But Junior's like, no, if he wants to do it, like he wants to do it. Like, you dream big, follow
Yeah.
your ambitions.
It's like
and all
maybe
that.
you won't live in Buckingham Palace, but
Yeah.
you can get a big palatial space that's
Yeah.
not already
Maybe-
occupied by the Queen of England.
Maybe you'll find some sweet young princess and
True.
win her over. Who knows?
Well, this is nice because like this is where like Yul and Junior kind of like kind of bury the hatchet. Like Yul's like, all right, well maybe this guy, he
I will not kill this man today.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah. But he starts seeing each other as people versus
Yeah.
like he's the guy who fucked up my dreams. Now, all right, this is a person now. Like,
Yeah.
Although I'm still mad at him for making fun of Dougie Doug there for reading the Hulk. Fuck
yeah, I
that.
know, right?
Yeah. So
He did say he had some serious reading to do, though. I mean, come on.
Well,
Yeah.
Come
but
on.
look at him. You knew he wasn't going to pull out Dostoevsky or some shit.
I
so
don't know that.
the next day they do their first like push start run, and it's a total failure. And a picture's taken of basically the bobsled going down the hill, and the rest of the Jamaicans just sliding down the course after it.
But like, that's the thing. It wasn't even like it wasn't even them not training well. It was just like what it looked like the foothold was iced over or something like that.
Well, they
he
were used to getting into an oil drum, not a freaking bobsled.
Yeah, but it looked like his foot kept slipping off
Yeah.
the foothold.
So now fucking I could see why Junior's dad is like such a wealthy man, because his attention to detail is fierce. He sees one picture of his son wearing a helmet lying prone. He's like, my boy done fucked up.
I mean, I
Slams
assume it had all of their names captioned under the
paper down.
photograph.
That's not what we saw, Rob.
All right.
Yeah, to be fair, he just looks at that photo and he's like, "Oh, that son of a bitch."
Maybe he just
I know that's what
really
they were
hates
implying.
bobsledding,
Yeah.
and it just reminded him to be mad at his son.
So,
But is this around the time he's watching the Swedish team?
he already did, and this is when like Derice decides he's like, all right, if we're gonna do this, we got to be like Sweden.
But
Which
did you catch in that training montage with the Swedish team? It ends with them making a TIE fighter noise?
yeah,
Yes, he certainly
what
did.
the hell was that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Disney didn't have Star Wars at that point. I don't know how that got in there.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
About Junior
Mhm.
and his dog.
Yes.
Is he making out with that dog?
Oh, he's
Maybe.
Because I feel like he probably practiced his first kiss on that dog.
He
Look,
probably-
man, love is love, man.
I'm not saying he loves the dog. I'm saying I think he just practiced kissing.
I would have never thought to think that.
Yeah, let's not go too deep into this because
I do
nobody's
what I want.
gonna be
Yeah.
happy.
So,
What I want.
yeah.
All right.
All right. So now, should we call it? So Derice is, he's talking to this one of the guys that used to be, I think, on Irv's team, or he's one of Irv's old friends, and he comes over and he's talking to Derice, and Derice is like, "Yeah, I want to be like Switzerland. They're the best, and I got my coach. He's the best. He's gonna get us there." This guy's like, your coach put a bunch of weights in his sled and doesn't have any gold medals anymore because of that. And it's funny because like John Candy basically just pops around a corner. He's like, "You shut the fuck up, get out." And the guy leaves. And I'm like, when are they going to discuss the fact that he's a cheater? Because I just assumed from how these movies go that this would be the scene then where Derice would just go back to the other three, tell them, and the four of them would have like a falling out with the coach.
But don't you appreciate that didn't happen?
Oh yeah, yes, so much.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, but he's still our coach. Like he's still been
Yeah.
training us. Like I don't care, whatever.
Because up until this point, we're painting by numbers with this movie, and I was like, yeah, we totally broke from the formula.
Yeah. It's like I'll ask him later, like an
Yeah.
adult, just face
Yep.
to face, like, hey, what happened?
Yeah. And then
course-
I'll let him explain himself.
But of
Which
course,
also
somewhere
never
around here, Dougie Doug shows up in a maid's outfit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why.
So are you sure that
just,
wasn't
just to get
or I
Yul
guess
Brynner to
humor.
yell at a Canadian woman?
I wonder if
Sure.
yeah, first of all, I'll talk about that in a second. First of all, like do you think maybe IMDb just got it wrong and it said Leon, but they meant Dougie Doug?
The people on IMDb, Rob? Never.
I mean, not that I would never besmirch their grandpappy's good name, but
No.
Uh,
The
and
people
then-
on IMDb consistently get every DC movie's ratings wrong.
is that what it is?
Remember
wonder
when they
if
were
there was-
trying to argue that?
I wonder if there was a scene where Leon was like the one in the maid drag, and they were like, "Nah, this don't work."
Yeah.
Dougie
He's
Doug's
too
better.
hot.
Like,
He's
Well,
too
that's
pretty.
the. I'm hoping it's something where like he was just, he was like, I'm not in this scene. Fuck it, I'm gonna throw on a wig and a dress and I'm gonna be in there. But it could be anything. Yeah, it could just be somebody who's really stupid and doesn't realize that Leon is not Dougie Doug. I don't know.
Maybe Leon just rocks drag and just wanted to do it for something on the set. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't
But-
know.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't see any of that, but I did see this dude in a maid outfit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then this freaking poor Canadian like hotel person comes up and gets yelled at by Yul Brynner, and she's just like, "Sorry." It's the most.
You felt
sorry,
bad for a hot second.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's literally the most pathetic thing I've ever heard come out of a person's mouth. Sorry. It sounded like it was ADR'd in later
Yeah,
by a mouse.
But like, just go yell at a Canadian. Just surprise him and yell at him. They'll do that.
Sorry. Unless it's a John Candy.
Unless
Do
it's John
not-
Candy. No,
Do
he'll
not just roll up on a John
fucking
Candy.
whale you with a pool cue. So, all right. So now, this movie is doing a lot of painting by numbers, but this scene coming up is one where I appreciated it because even though I could tell everything that was going to happen in this bar scene, I was like, this is still really fun. So you get Dougie Doug being an idiot, like at the line dancing bar, trying to line dance. And then you get like Junior, he's all bummed out because his dad just sent a telegram saying like, you done fucked up, so you got to come home. And Yul Brenner ain't having it. He's like, stand up to your dad. And then the East Germans come by and they're talking shit. So like, basically, Junior's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll get out of your way. And then Yul Brenner's like, I'm not having that either. Drags him in the bathroom, puts him in front of the mirror. He's like, what do you see? He's like, I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother. And then
good enough. I'm smart enough. And
Yeah.
yeah, you get the Yul Brynner version of Stuart Smalley. And like
Oh, that dude got canceled.
it's funny though, like how fucking he gets Junior all like worked up. So Junior goes out and immediately starts shit with the East German guy and forgets that it's still like this like tough guy, East German man that just pushes him over. So then Yul still like got his back, and fight starts, and we get just silly bar fight scene. Dougie Doug, who at this point has actually learned to line dance, and he's
'cause they're
taking
hard.
What's that?
Yeah.
It ain't
Not
hard.
hard.
Yeah. No, it's
I mean,
But I just
step
want to
above
point out,
contra dance.
Dougie Doug was gonna
Yeah.
smash. Like,
Oh yeah,
like the woman
Oh,
he
yeah.
was next, like he was playing idiot on purpose to get her to laugh.
she
And,
had
like,
he had
and then,
her
like,
hat on, she had his hat
Yeah.
on.
They had traded hats. She was laughing and smiling. He was
Yeah.
gonna smash. Like,
he was putting on his red jacket. He was getting ready to close that deal.
So on the subject of smashing, he does like a fucking like Rey Mysterio jump off the bar crossbody into this bar fight.
Well, yeah, this is fantastic because he's just like, excuse me, I gotta take care of something. Just goes running across the bar, jumps onto it, and then leaps onto somebody.
So the only thing that I could have used is one person being slid the length of the bar. Didn't have to be one of the main characters.
It would have been Dougie Doug for sure.
It would have been Dougie Doug. Though.
No,
Yeah.
Junior. Are you kidding me? Junior. He is
No.
prime for that shit.
No, Dougie Doug is like the comic relief kind of the movie.
Yeah,
It
that's
definitely
true.
would have been him, and he would have gotten
So-
like beer in his hair.
I'll give it. Well, there's a few things here. For one, yeah, Junior is a freaking idiot because he gets all confidenced up, and then he comes running out of the bathroom with all this bravado, and he has nothing to back it up. And it's like, dude, you got to at least think another step or two ahead of this because you just immediately crumbled. It was sad to see. But I also want to give them credit because Dougie Doug is like he's trying to do the line dancing. He eventually gets there. It's not like him trying to add his own style to it and then like teach everybody else to do that or one of those dumb kind of things you tend to see in movies.
Yeah.
Or
He didn't
them-
get up on stage and start rapping.
or
Oh,
this also
God,
wasn't a thing where like they're in a country bar so everybody immediately hates them. Like I was nervous for that for a
Well, it's a
moment.
Canadian country bar.
True.
If it was an American country bar, it
Well,
would've-
yeah, probably.
Plus, we had that scene earlier in the movie, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, and here's another thing I like with the movie. 'Cause they go back, right? And Irv's like, fucking get your heads together. Like he's like, get in it because you guys are fucking around too much. Like, get serious about this. And he's like, I'll see you tomorrow morning. And I was totally thinking at this point, this is when Derice was just going to be like, oh, you're going to yell at us? Well, Mr. fucking Cheaty Pants. But he doesn't. And I was like, cool. And then, like, the next morning, they all just wake Irv up at 6 a.m. and it's montage time.
Yeah.
Yep. And the montage ends with them being presented with their uniforms. And they look legit now.
Mm-hmm.
So now you get some shit where they got to qualify. So they got to get 1 minute flat to qualify, even though the rules were like a minute 6 or something along those lines.
the minute two, then they changed the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now like shenanigans are happening. And then they do their run and they get a 59:46. So they make it.
Mhm.
And it's like awesome. They're celebrating and it's time to name the sled. and Junior wants to name it Tallulah, and like
Sounds like a
fucking
$2 whore.
yeah, because like that's a $2 hooker name.
That's my mom's name, fucker.
And again, like right when he said $2 hooker, you knew it was his mom's name.
Right,
But
of
this
course.
movie's-
Yeah.
they're doing it exactly how they should do it, if that makes sense. So like it's getting laughs out of me, even though normally I hate when it's this predictable. So I decide to name the sled Cool Runnings, and then like a telegram shows up, and it's just like, "Dear Mr. Candy, fuck you."
That's pretty much
The
it.
Olympic Commission. So now the Olympic Council here gets a full steam John Candy just juggernauting into the room, and you get the behind the back cam. And I'm like, I don't want to be the first person that tries to stop him. And he comes in and he's just like, "You want some acting chops? You want generic speech that's going to influence everybody? Here it is. Boom."
I thought he was just going to come in and Kirby the whole room.
Yeah.
I wish.
Jesus.
Flip that giant donut-shaped table over.
And then eat it.
That he did. So yeah, he's like, "Look, you guys hate me, fine. I'll go home, punish me, whatever. But these guys, work super hard for their country. They want to represent their country, and you're taking that from them because of me. Well, you're all a bunch of assholes." And they're like, "All right, he caught us. We are assholes. Let's let them in."
I just realized that was the main bad dude, whatever his name is, the
Kurt.
official, whatever. No, the official, whatever. It's like his third time on a podcast.
Mm.
Is
Yeah. I can't remember what he's been in either, but he does look
He was-
familiar.
He was in Falling Down. He was one of the captains in Falling Down.
Mhm.
And he
Okay.
was what was the other one he was in? I can't remember. Clock. I just had it.
Mm.
Someone else we had just seen recently.
So
Anyway, but yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
cut back to John Candy waiting by the phone after he delivered a speech check. He's waiting to see if it passed, and he gets the phone call, like literally like the scene right after, and he's like, it sucks. The council decided that we're in, yay. And it's a fucking man pile on John Candy.
It really is, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because John Candy's
Oh.
kind of a man pile on his own.
Yeah.
Oh,
The ref. He was the cop in the ref.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
Jesus.
I don't remember
Yeah.
anything about the ref except
So-
Cap is.
So now, like, this is a part where being a low budget movie in 1993, I could see why they made this decision. But how awesome would it have been to see like them actually go into the Olympic Stadium? Like that would be a moving moment, because that's like that parade of athletes as they go in for the opening ceremonies is like, it's full of grandeur to watch.
Yeah.
And for these four people, like, for the ones that wanted to be in the Olympics and now they're here to compete, like it would be a huge moment for them. But it's also a $30 million budget,
Right.
and that would be a tough scene to shoot. So
And to be honest, like I was
yeah.
still emotionally hyped from John Candy's whole speech in the boardroom.
Mhm.
So like I didn't even necessarily need all that. So
Yeah.
it would have been cool, but like I think I'm fine without.
So yeah, you just see them walking into the stadium on on a little TV in Jamaica, and you see, like, unlike what the commissioner predicted, like all the Jamaican people that you see are like super into this.
I mean, like,
and-
why wouldn't you be?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I think the commissioner
Like, for me, I'm like-
realizes.
I'm like, there's black folks doing shit that only white folks do
Yep.
at a high level. I'm game. Like,
Yeah. So now they Junior's father shows up, and he's like, "All right, we're going home right now. Get your stuff." And Junior's like, "Not doing it. I'm here with the team. You don't like it, too bad." And it's competition time.
it was a good stand up moment.
yeah.
Like he surprised himself. He didn't think he can do it, but he did it. And even his dad was like, "All right." Like he was
Okay.
too stunned that it happened to be like to fight
Well, it's
back.
that first time he fought back, yeah. And doing it in the elevator was strategic too, because he took his hand off the door. He's like, "See ya."
Which is kind of funny because like when he grabbed that elevator door, it was
Yeah.
like he grabbed that aggressive, and I was like, "Oh my,
Yeah.
is he gonna punch his father in the face right now? Am I gonna
So-
see something crazy?"
Now, it's competition time, and like everyone's super pumped about this, and their first run sucks a big one. They hit all the walls. They get a really bad start, and they get right into last place. And you see all the kids back home have like the chalkboard out where they're writing the times for everybody, and they're just like, fuck. So now they go back to the hotel, and John Candy's like, look, you guys know what to do. Just fucking do it. Whatever you gotta do, get your heads in the game. Like you gotta be loose out there. And so like he leaves, and now the four of them are talking, and this is kind of where Sanka has his moment where he's like, look, man, we're trying to be like fucking Swedish. Let's just be Jamaican.
Yeah.
You know, and like, yeah, we're different. Let's celebrate that.
See, this moment is why Senka was there.
Yeah.
It was like, he's like the team spirit, like team heart,
Mhm.
you know? Like, he's not as big as everyone else or as strong or as fast, but like, you know, he brings them back together to remember what's important. So like, I'm okay with him being here for this.
And
He
he's
may
the
not
only one in
have
the movie that doesn't have any conflict over who he is. Like, he's like the solid point, like the solid member of the team.
He's literally just like, he's not even, and he's the only one there that's like not there for glory of any kind. He's just there to help out his friend, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his ring may not be as flashy as fire or water, but heart is important too.
Yeah, see?
You can't get Captain Planet without all of the elements.
Well, you can get Captain Planet without a heart, but he's a lot more destructive.
Oh, yeah, he's slightly darker green or something like that.
Yeah.
It's played by Don Cheadle.
Everyone's a tree at that
Turns
point.
everyone's
Yeah.
a tree. So, all right. So now it's the second run, and they show up. Being in last place, they show up with a lot of swag. And they're like, all right, Coach Irv, here's your Jamaican hat.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, this is good, because, you know, now they're into it.
Wear it
And-
with whatever you think looks like pride.
And suddenly, like, they're amazing. Because, you know, that whole thing of, like, being sprinters, they get off to an amazing start, and they drive the course perfect. And now they're in 8th place. And everyone's cheering, and everyone's just like, holy crap. So we cut back to the hotel, and this is when, Derice decides this is when he's going to ask Irv, you know, why he cheated. And you get a nice little touching scene where he asks him like an adult, and then Irv is like, no, for real, like, if you are not complete without a gold medal, having a gold medal isn't going to complete you. You're just going to want to win more and more, and you're never going to be satisfied, and you're going to have to win, and you're going to eventually start doing shady shit. And, you know,
See
Derice
also-
is just like, what's that, Rob?
I was going to say, see also Spider-Man Homecoming.
Mm-hmm. And Derice is just like, okay, and that's it. And I really appreciated that, because there's always a pointless falling out that you know they're going to get back together scene. And it's always like the person doesn't get the chance to explain themselves. And like, it was
Out
nice
of the liar
and refreshing.
moment.
Yeah, it was nice and refreshing to just have like a, you know, adult conversation about it.
And you could tell he's struggling with it too, because he asks him again. He's like, "How will I know when I'm good enough?" And he's just like, "You'll know once you hit the finish line. Yeah, you'll know."
And that, you know, sets things up for the third run, where now like everyone's like, "Yeah, Jamaica." Woo."
Double elimination. This is a double elimination.
They wish it was a double elimination tournament.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
Speaking of, I also like the announcers here because it is just I don't think the Jamaicans belong here, and looks like I've just been canceled. Well, thanks for having me around.
Well, yeah, now they have their Jamaican.
What
team.
assholes?
Yeah. Yeah, and they totally backpedal to go with the zeitgeist of the moment, because that first day they were like, yeah, these Jamaicans, they're basically trash. They're an embarrassment to the sport, and I hate them.
Yeah.
And now by day 3, they're like, well, they did one good run, so I love them forever.
Well, you see, Bill, this is why we should have built that wall.
Yeah.
Like, it's always funny because watching a movie like this, you forget that like all the work that goes into getting to that point.
Yep.
So like even the people that are trash at the big events are
still
way
better
better
than
than
us.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Is it like I saw a thing on that where it was like some like third string guy from the Boston Celtics, and he never gets any game time, and then they're like, this radio station did a contest where they're like, anyone can show up and challenge this man, doesn't matter who you are, and he just destroys them all. like by like a wide margin. All right, so now it's their third run. They're doing really well. They're going. Everyone's cheering. It's looking like they're going to win. And then sad shit. steering breaks, the cart's out of control, and they crash. Hit their heads on the ice, and it's not looking good.
So,
EMTs
Tony.
rushing on the scene.
Tony,
Yeah.
you said that the footage is actual footage of the actual crash?
Yes.
Okay, because, like, the way one of them hit their head in the fucking...
Yeah, that looked awful.
I'm like, what stuntman signed up for that? Because, like, one of them had their neck in a weird position. When
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, there's no way.
Gosh.
So there's one part where they're coming around a corner, and one of their heads is like tilted like at like a 90-degree angle against the
Yeah.
wall.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
Well,
looked
yeah.
so bad.
To clarify, I mean, like, you can tell which parts are, the film and which parts are actual news footage, but, like, some of it is staged or, like close-up shots and whatnot, but some of it is the real footage.
Yeah, like the first, like, I'm watching the movie as we're talking, like, I have it in the background, and I'm at the part now. And, like, when it first flips, like, this one dude's head just fucking just rams on the fucking side of his neck. Like,
You get the scene where, like, are they okay? The EMTs kind of crowd over them. And then when they part ways, the four of them are standing up and they're carrying the sled across the finish line. In real life, they just pushed it. But, this is,
Still
more
counts.
symbolic. Yeah.
Still counts.
Yeah, and considering what the hell just happened to them,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
those four guys
I
still
wouldn't
got
be
up.
upset if they left it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
would have just been like, carry me.
all right, so they're walking, and you see Junior's father. He's got the Jamaican bobsled shirt, cheering his son on, and suddenly, East German man.
The slow clap.
Yeah.
And this part took me out because it's the slow clap, like,
right.
textbook slow clap,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly everyone's happy for him, and and like the East German guy, he comes up and he's like, "Yo, I'll see you in 4 years." And they're cheered on, and they take a picture of the team there, and it gets put on the wall next to the picture of Doris's father and Matt Damon.
Yeah. At this point, I was also like, fuck you, dude. You didn't let them go. Like, you
Yeah.
didn't give them money for this.
Yeah, I would have flexed in that dude's face when I got home so
Yeah.
bad. Like, you didn't believe in us, fucker. Like, this you not now. We want all the money now. Like, you didn't fucking believe in us. Now you better fucking support us.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's less of he didn't believe in him and more he was like, yeah, why don't you train for next year and then we'll see what happens.
I mean, but to be honest, like, that the guy did, I guess, even though it's not actually, but in the context of the movie, he did cheat. Like, he did disgrace himself, and, he's like, people are already going to laugh because it's Jamaica trying to bobsled. Like, we don't need all this. So I can totally understand his coming from a place of caution.
Nah, fuck
I
that.
do understand his point, but it is kind of like I'm going to put you on my trophy wall. Like, you didn't send us. You don't have the right to do that, but, But yeah, he's not wrong. They should have trained for another year.
That
been
trophy
better.
wall is
Whatever.
probably like Jamaica's Olympic sports museum. So,
Yeah.
it's important that they're up there. So, that's basically it. Roll credits. They the text mentions that the Jamaicans came back the next Olympics. And that's really it. You get some cool neon credits.
Yeah.
Cool runnings.
Cool runnings. What does cool runnings mean, guys?
It's like the
Peace
journey
be the
and all that
journey.
stuff.
Yeah,
Peace be the journey.
Especially when it slams your head into to an ice wall.
Yeah, that didn't look very peaceful.
Ugh.
All right. I'm gonna go take a leak real quick.
Could have just
Cool.
done that.
I guess I'll cut this part out.
Nah, leave it in. Fuck it. Do it live.
Yeah.
You
Tony
know
Rotten
he was
Tomatoes,
going
what's up?
to.
Who am I? Who am I kidding?
We want to just go without Joe.
No, we'll wait. It's all right. Let's just think of cool things. And by cool, I mean cruel things to say about Joe while he's gone for the entertainment of our listeners.
So you're leaving all this. Okay.
Yeah, I'm leaving it all in. Hey, William, how you doing, man?
No. Wait.
Which
Wait.
one?
Which one? Yeah. Hold on.
Not Will. not our
Okay.
lazy ass
Hey, William.
person.
Thanks for writing in. I hope you listened to that episode where we finally read your email. Hope you enjoyed it.
And take all of your money.
Yeah. I'm not thrilled with your choices, but hey.
Oh, they're fine. Totally
Yeah,
fine.
they're great. Hey, patrons, how you all doing? Hope you're staying safe. Thank you for being awesome, guys.
Without you, we wouldn't be here.
True.
Yeah.
Also, I just got our badge for 5,000 downloads for our podcast. That's pretty cool.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
That's a legit number.
Yeah, it is.
5,000.
We keep
Where-
getting some more follows on Facebook. I'm not sure how many of them are real because I know like bots follow all the time on
I mean,
Facebook. So,
they could be
Yeah.
sex bots. That's okay. We'll
but
take
you
them.
know, I want to believe that they're all real. So
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
If you don't already, you should follow us on Facebook.
Who
I
gave you
don't-
a badge? Where?
Podbean did.
Yeah, Podbean.
Okay.
It's in our email. You can see it anytime you want.
Hang it on my wall.
You
Joe's
could.
back. Joe's back.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Joe.
And if it weren't for my horse, I never would have made it through that year of college.
Joe, how did your tinkles come out?
Like a fire hose.
Wow.
I had a lot of caffeine today. I am
Okay.
probably severely dehydrated.
Nice. How yellow are we talking?
No, it wasn't that yellow, so I'm good.
Okay. Tony, what's IMDb have to say about this movie?
Of course, that's going in the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, it all is.
I don't know what IMDb has to say about it, but on RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this a score of 76%. Audience gave this a score of 81%. That's their thoughts and opinions. What about you and yours, Will? Oh, right. Fuck that guy. Joe!
It's just an empty chair.
All right, so this movie, it is very generic, and it sets like a low bar, and then it does like a textbook, like how you should jump over this bar, jump over that bar. So like, I think the grade it got is right. I liked it. I had fun. It did good montages, and it had like a charm to it. But it wasn't exactly like a very ambitious film or anything like that. Like it was pretty basic. So like I can't say that I'm gonna put it in like, you know, any of my high recommends or anything. But it's perfectly watchable. You know, went by pretty quick, told a good story. I liked the characters and I had fun. So yeah, I think it's about a C.
Okay. Rob.
Ding. Yeah, I was surprised at how much I actually liked this movie. I had a lot of like emotional reactions to it. By the end of the movie, I was like totally rooting for this team. And I don't usually like gravitate towards like sports or athletic based movies. Because they are kind of all cookie cutter, you know? But the way they kind of circumvented my expectations, at least a little bit in some areas, like Joe said, was really refreshing and really enjoyable to watch. Some of the humor doesn't really hit. Dougie Doug gets a little annoying at times, but I think like the interactions between most of the characters seems really genuine and really, really likable. So I definitely recommend this movie. I'm actually surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Okay, so that's a recommend from Rob. Brian.
I still love this movie. Like it's not as fun as it was when I was a kid. Because you know when you're a kid, some things just seem bigger than whatever. Because like I hadn't at the time, 92 or 93, whatever. I never was a part of track. I never trained like you know to do those kind of sports, whatever. So I didn't realize how much work it took to do all that kind of stuff. I just like seeing like someone who looked like me doing something that like people who look like me don't usually do.
Okay.
But like it's still funny. It's still like I still had a good time watching it. Like I noticed things like Dougie Doug about he was probably gonna smash like as an adult. I didn't notice as a kid. As an adult, I noticed that kind of shit. Like you know, it's still fun, and I appreciate like Junior's like becoming himself moment. You know, I appreciate that more now. You know, being an adult who's had to become himself. You know what I mean? So like you know, I still dig it. I still say watch it. You know, still say watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of in a tough one on this because it's hard to say I would actually recommend it because it's a perfectly serviceable movie. It's perfectly acceptable. Like, there's nothing bad about it. It's kind of the standard Disney affair where it's very level. 'cause it's just it bugs me that it's based on a true story, but it has like nothing to do with the true story. It's almost all embellished, and yet what they embellished is a bit too cookie cutter for me. And yes, they did avoid some of the standard tropes, so I'll give them credit for that, but I can't give them too much because it is still, like it's not that exciting considering you're faking all this anyway. So I guess I'll go with a light recommend. That, I believe, means we're all kind of on that same boat. Which means...
Hey, question, Tony. Question for you. Like, if you never knew that what the true story was, like, would that change how you feel about this movie?
Only a little. Like I said, it's not, accounting for the actual history of the movie. It's still just... it's not that special. It does follow basic beats, so it's okay. But knowing that it has so little to do with it, I'd rather they either completely make up a movie and make it, do more different stuff and make it more interesting, or make it more true to the real events. If there was enough to have it in there with, obviously the crash was a big deal, but they had to fake the whole thing of, a big point to me is the whole, I didn't like the bullshit of, we're the Swedish team and we immediately hate you just because you're different. When in reality, everyone was just like, oh yeah, you're here. Cool. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so, but like, that's like it's a ski school movie. Like it was like this is our mountain, like, and you don't belong here. That's just like a ski school movie.
Oh yeah,
that's like true story or not. Like there are plenty of movies that aren't true that have that same kind of thing in it. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is like that's kind of a little old and tired for me in those ski school movies. But, whatever. But the fact that they crammed it in here when it doesn't need to be there and it didn't belong because it's not actually part of the story, it's just like, well, I kind of got to dock you points for that.
All right, whatever.
Again, I'm not crapping on it. It's a light recommend. It's kind of with Joe. It's about a C.
Yeah, that's why. Like I say, to come to Tony's defense, like I think the that 76 grade that the critics gave it is pretty reasonable because it is like it's a pretty basic movie, but what it does very well. It just like I would have liked it if they varied the formula a bit more. Yeah,
it's the classic. Well, it is kind of the classic of Disney doing like we know how to make a good movie, we know how to make it entertaining, we know how to tug at the heartstrings in the right moment, but we're just kind of going through the motions, and there's nothing really special about it. So,
well, I would say that they are putting intense effort into going through the motions. But anyways,
fair enough.
I think either way we all recommend.
Yeah, so ultimately it comes down to we're recommending Cool Runnings from 1993.
Yep.
What else we got for the people?
I'm still going to recommend anyway because check out this segue. It's a movie about a team of wait, no, they weren't black. Never mind. It won't work. I was gonna make an Invictus joke because of Matt Damon, but it won't work.
Wait, Matt Damon's not black? Are you sure about that? I might need to see your sources.
I don't know 100%.
No, but if you're going through that kind of stuff, there's what was the one? Was 42? I think the Jackie Robinson one.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say because we made a Matt Damon joke. I was gonna tie in Invictus because he starred in that movie, but I forgot that one was a team of it was an entire team of white people in a sport full of white people. Okay, so anyway, moving on.
Guys, I think that's it for our episode. Unless you have anything else to add. Nope. All right. We want to thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, because you'll enjoy it. For our episode archive, merchandise store, and more information, check out our website at 4ampodcast.podbean.com. You can contact us by following us on Twitter or Facebook at 4ampodcast, or you can email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. We have a couple of ways you can support what we do. We do have a merchandise store, as I mentioned before, available through our website, or you can consider becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/4ampodcast. You can also give us some muns. $20 gets you a podcast sponsorship, and that will let you choose whatever movie you want, as long as we haven't done it already. and we will get right on that. So that's really, really cool. You can just check out our email address to sort all of that out. And I think that's it for today, right, guys?
Think
Yeah.
so.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. See you next time.
Deuces.
Adios.
Good night, everybody.